Welcome to Lead with Tech. Today's going to be quite a unique episode because I'm going to share with you the exact conversation I had with a CIO of a very popular bank. It's just a couple of paragraphs from our texting. You will see what it means for a company when one of the key leaders possesses the mentality of status quo and what it costs the company when that person keeps all the fresh ideas that are coming his way or her way all to himself or herself without sharing with others, meaning that other people cannot validate if that decision was right or wrong when those ideas could have maybe moved the needle for the company, but they would never know about it because no one shared with them. This is one of those conversations that I have quite often with executives. It's one of my favorite topics. It's when you talk to a traditional company that, let's say, sells lumber, right? Or it's an insurance company, or it's a hospital. It doesn't matter. My favorite topic is what else can you offer to your users? What else can create additional revenue streams for your company? I'm in the software business, running a software company. It means our ideas are related to digital services and digital innovations. And most of the time, it's interesting to see how fresh and new those ideas look to those executives to a degree that they immediately start finding reasons not to approach them, why it's impossible. Here's the conversation I had, and then we'll talk about it after I read you the quote. One thing no bank has ever done is create a revenue stream from its digital products. I'm sure we can find premium features people will pay for without breaking the bank. It is the same issue in MLM, for example. Companies are so fixated on their physical products that they overlook how many loyal customers they have who use mobile apps daily. And that's where the opportunity lies. Basically, it means that you have to forget you're running a bank and instead imagine you have a digital platform and loyal monthly active user base. Then you start offering them value-adding digital products that they're most likely to pay a premium for. Millennials in particular are people who always seek exclusivity, party codes, limited offers, car pre-sales, early access. You should harness this trend in my generation. With your incredible 80% mobile app usage rate, which they did have, you can definitely lead. I'll send you more ideas by the end of the week. The point is, you should be able to charge your customers for digital products that benefit them just like they would pay for them if they found them on their own on the App Store. If your bank provides extra value, it should not be free unless you decide to make it free. And then he says, it's not the world we'll live in. With the current regulatory climate, consumers don't really pay for many services at all. So you see right away how psychologically he tries to distance himself from the idea that there could be some extra revenue streams and new services and fresh ideas for their customers. 80% of their user base uses their mobile app monthly, and it's a bank. That's pretty incredible. They should utilize that for sure. And there are a lot of premium features that we could offer to them that would totally move the needle. But the way he's trying to distance himself from this idea is just by saying, it's not the world we live in. Harsh statement that I have to agree with, right? The world is just not the right kind of world where this kind of stuff is possible. And then on top of that, like another layer of indecision is regulations, right? With the current regulatory climate, consumers don't really pay for many services at all. Maybe because they get to use a lot of value-adding services for free. They pay for Netflix, which they hardly watch more than 5 hours per month. And then he fires back, this isn't a streaming service, it's a bank. And now I had to respond. And this is my response. And this is very important. Pay attention. Here's what I said. And maybe that is the fundamental issue of lack of innovation and is why fintech as a separate niche had to emerge. Because banks were just that, banks, not digital service providers. Really, Venmo, Zelle, PayPal, all those services could just be features had they been developed by banks. They weren't, so someone else did it. That's the main point here. Here's the thing, guys. The times are shifting so quickly right now that it's no longer a valid argument that this is the world we live in. We have regulations. Our customers are not going to do this. We're not a streaming service. You are whatever you need to be to survive. That's the point. Your bank, your insurance company, your healthcare system, hospital, whatever it is, it's not going to survive if it's not going to adjust to what's happening right now. And I'm not sure if you noticed, but the shift in the current technological environment is just off the charts. We're entering into a totally new era of data usage, of internet usage by new people on top of that. Like, we're not talking about boomers anymore. We're not even talking about millennials anymore. We're talking about alphas. We're talking about Gen Zs using internet in a totally different way. You have to understand that people are using internet everywhere, right? They're using apps, they're using different services, and those services and apps shape their expectations for digital products. How easy it is to check out, how flawless the menu is, how intuitive the interface is, and all that stuff. You think that just because Gen Z is using Instagram, it doesn't mean that your bank needs to look the part. You're not a streaming service, you're a bank, but you need to behave like you're a streaming service to capture the attention and loyalty of your future and current customers who expect your bank, your service providing business, your hospital, your insurance company, your lumber cutting, whatever, to have an interface that they will approve of, that they will be happy to play with, to work with, to share with others. After all, that's what it's all about. If you have a traditional enterprise, if you work for a traditional enterprise, just try to think out of the box for a second and think, okay, what else do we have? Basically, that's the question. What else do we have? How can we convert what we have today into something else? What if we were a different kind of company? For example, with direct selling, all those companies are just like banks. All the banks have the same offerings. MLM companies have the same offerings as well. They're all amazing. They're all life-changing. And most of the companies are in health and wellness industry, meaning that they promote products that will help you lose weight, be more energetic, become more athletic, whatever you want, right? More energy, better sleep. But all companies claim the same thing. Just like with banks, they claim the same thing. It's the same credit card, same cash back, same loan, same mortgage percentages. How can people distinguish one from the other? You have a large customer base. What do they interface through? Typically, it's an app or web interface. It's internet, it's digital. What else, apart from what you're selling today, can you sell to those people so that they would gain some value out of it? And then you start listing all those ideas, and trust me, there are plenty. Once you start thinking about this, you will start finding great new revenue stream ideas for your company, which will also create diversification for your business in general. The first thing that needs to happen is you have to change your mentality to start looking for those things and expanding your company, diversifying and thinking about the future customers and what those customers are using today as their primary source of the services that you could be offering instead. So there you have it. This conversation showcases how a lot of traditional companies, unfortunately, still think today. This will change, inevitably. The only question is, will you do it yourself and be the leader in your vertical, or will you be forced to follow someone else because they're doing it, and that's up to you?